Friends, I wanted to get back to American Miscellany. It's about time. I finally recovered from the last essay. Essay number 142 was on Christopher Columbus, and it was like literally over 3 hours of talking. It was, what, 26 pages, I think, which is our longest essay by far. Hopefully, we won't have another doozy like that. But so all these essays are of various lengths. I don't know what's coming because I'm reading this book for the first time along with you guys, but it's just a collection of random essays on random topics of random lengths. It was published in 1865, so it's interesting information. It's different anyway from what we know, and our next topic is much shorter, and maybe it'll be helpful. Let's find out together. We're here on page 368 of American Miscellany, and we're reading essay number 143, Exercise for the Eyes. Ooh, by Dr. W. A. Alcott. We don't often get the author listed, but all right, Dr. Alcott, please inform us. Give us an exercise for the eyes. It has been very generally supposed that in order to strengthen the eye above all, if debilitated or diseased, it must be little used. From this mistaken view have arisen 1,000 errors. To it, in no small degree, we owe the mighty deluge of spectacles of all sorts, of which we have already loudly complained, together with a host of mechanical contrivances for favoring weak eyes, or improving those already strong. To it, moreover, we owe in no small degree much of that superficiality in learning which is so common among us nowadays. Many a student seems to regard spectacles as a sort of substitute for thought and solid knowledge. Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. Okay, now we are of those who believe that if no person in the world would use any sort of spectacles or glasses for 1,000 years to come, the eyesight of the race then on earth would be far better than it is likely to be as things are going on now. This is not saying that spectacles may not in some instances be advantageously used, but only at the extreme to which we have alluded, which would be far more tolerable than that which now exists. 9 in 10, perhaps 99 in 100, who use glasses are injured by them most unquestionably. The grand point, after all, in the work of improving the eye, just as it is in the work of improving any other organ, is to give it a proper amount of healthful exercise. In one word, it must be used. Exercise of the eye, to be useful, must be varied. We must not read always, nor always refrain from reading. We must not always read the coarsest print, nor must we go to the other and worse extreme, that of always using small print. We must not use a strong light always, nor must we resolve not to use a strong light at all. We must not read too much by artificial lights, nor need we refuse to use a lamp or candle in any circumstance. We should not read much when the mind or the body is in a state of considerable fatigue, nor need we go to the other extreme of never reading at all in such circumstances. The course which science, experience, and observation would seem to point out is the following. Keep the eyes cool. Use them much, generally in a full, strong light, and in the open air, but at any rate use them. Accustom them on occasions to almost every degree of light, every kind of artificial arrangement, taking care, however, especially in reading small or bad type, and in using a light badly constructed or in a bad position, not to go so far as to induce fatigue. We believe that with these latter cautions the eye will always improve by use, and that, on the contrary, more it is favored and indulged, babied as it were, the worse will be its condition. We believe that thousands tend or baby their eyes into chronic or deep-seated disease when in constant and varied exercise and a due attention to light, air, and water would have rendered them as strong as our own. We have no more use for spectacles now than we had at 20 years of age, nor do we mean to use any for 20 years to come. And yet we read with impunity for a little while at once in all sorts of light, and have so for about 15 years. And yet, according to common appearances, no man has a worse prospect before him, so far as eyesight was concerned 15 or 20 years ago, than ourselves. And though we could not lay too much stress on the experience of one individual, we must be permitted to believe that it is worth something. Of course, it's worth something. That was the royal we.